Hey, what's happening, guys? What's going on? You guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels. Today is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. We got another rundown video for you guys today. We're going to be talking about a number of different business stories, the economy, where things are heading, how markets are doing, and a number of other interesting stories. I'm actually a little bit short on time, so I'm actually going to start this video on the road as I'm driving, and once I get a chance to kind of pull over here, we'll kind of get into the notes. Before we get into kind of what the markets have done, we're going to be talking about Jamie Dimon's recent comments on the banking crisis not being over and repercussions for years to come, which likely is what drove markets down yesterday. The Dow closed down almost 200 points yesterday. For those of you guys who are SEOs or have e-commerce stores, we're going to be talking about the recent Google Core update that happened the second half of November. Started, I believe it was, March. Started, I believe, March 15th. Ran through most of the rest of the month. A lot of people are kind of unhappy with kind of this new algorithm and where search results wound up, and it appears that Google is kind of reversing the previous update. It seems like there's another update going on right now, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. GM, a couple weeks ago we talked about how GM has was looking to get rid of a majority of their 68,000 white-collar workers, and they were strongly suggesting people took a buyout that they offered. Well, it turns out 5,000 people did accept that buyout, and at least for now, they're going to be able to avoid those layoffs. Although I imagine there's going to be more layoffs to come. If you're thinking about laying off 68,000 people, you got 5,000 to take a buyout. I would still imagine there's probably tens of thousands of people that GM is still going to get rid of before the end of the year. So we'll get into all of that in just a moment here. Before we get started, shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Refersion. You can check them out at refersion.com. Link will be in the description box below. Refersion is an affiliate management platform. So if you have a Shopify store, a big commerce store, an e-commerce store, really any business where you're looking to get an army of affiliates working for you, Refersion is a great way to kind of manage that program. People can sign up to join your affiliate program. You can approve or disapprove them. People can create links to unique pages on your Shopify site, your big commerce site, whatever platform you're running on. They can create links to specific product pages with their unique affiliate tracking code, and it will track their sales. And then at the end of the month, you can pay out your affiliates with just a few clicks. Also, if you are an affiliate marketer yourself, they have an affiliate network similar to a Commission Junction or CJ.com, and you can search for different companies, different products, and different industries, and find affiliate programs that may cater to your audience. So check them out. Again, the link will be in the description box below. Let's talk about how and where the markets closed down yesterday. Yesterday, the Dow closed down 198 points. NASDAQ closed up 0.55%, and the S&P 500 closed down 0.58%. Looking at crypto, crypto overall is up on the 24-hour. Ethereum being the biggest gainer, up over 4% overnight, and currently sitting at $1,909. Looks like Ethereum may cross over the $2,000 mark sometime in the next couple days or over the weekend. I didn't look at where Dogecoin is sitting at, but Dogecoin up over 20% in the past couple days. People have noted that the Twitter logo became the Dogecoin logo, and if you visit twitter.com, during that brief second while the page is loading, you have a Dogecoin logo spinning in the center of the page. So a lot of people are speculating that this may mean that Elon Musk is somehow going to introduce Dogecoin to the Twitter platform. So in terms of why markets were down yesterday, JP Dimon came out and said that the banking crisis is not over. He said there will be repercussions for years to come. Markets obviously didn't like that, and he did note that this is not like 2008. Jamie Dimon went on to blame regulators, saying, ironically, banks were incentivized to own the safe government securities because they were considered highly liquid by regulators and carried very low capital requirements, Dimon said. Even worse, he added, the Federal Reserve didn't stress test banks on what would happen as rates jumped. So Jamie Dimon sees more trouble to come. He doesn't see the banking crisis being over, and he blames regulators for the problem. In the lead up to this, we briefly talked about the Google Core update. Once a year, a couple times a year, Google will do core updates, will change how their algorithm works. In the past, when Google's search engine and AI learning wasn't nearly as sophisticated, the updates were a lot bigger, and the updates normally targeted something very specific. So, years and years in the past, one update might target low quality links. Another update may target, basically black hat SEO tactics. techniques. Another update may target private blog networks and people who are kind of gaming the system. These days, most of the Google updates aren't necessarily going after bad actors or a specific thing. They're just kind of refining how the search engine works and trying to provide a better search experience. Although 2 of the 3 last Google updates wound up doing a very, very bad job. You had sites ranking that shouldn't be ranking. You had sites with a lot of AI content ranking. It just really kind of threw off the search results. And it looks like, okay, so the last Google Core update happened, was it March 15th, pretty much through the end of the month. It looks like here in early April, Google has another update going on, likely to correct that past update. And I believe 2 out of the last 3 Google updates were actually kind of rolled back, or they had to do an additional update in order to kind of correct things that they goofed up. If you guys have websites, if you guys are SEOs or digital marketers, drop a comment. Let me know what your guys' experiences were with your websites, your blogs, your affiliate sites, your Shopify stores, whatever it may be. We got an AP News article about 5,000 General Motors GM workers take the buyout. That's enough to avoid layoffs, at least for now. You guys probably remember a few weeks back, GM had announced they wanted to lay off a majority of their 68,000 white-collar workers, and getting 5,000 people to take this buyout wound up saving billions of dollars. GM is saying that for now, they're not going to have to do layoffs because 5,000 people did take this buyout. But if you had just a few weeks ago said we want to get rid of the majority of our 68,000 workers, and now you get 5,000 people to take a buyout, and you're like, okay, we're cool. To me, majority means at least half. So out of, say, 70,000 workers, that's about 35,000 workers on the low end that you would need to get rid of. If they get 5,000 people to take a buyout, I'm guessing we'll probably see either one huge layoff later this year, 20 to 30,000 employees, or we'll likely wind up seeing 2 to 3 layoffs of 10, 11, 12, 15,000 employees. So we'll have to keep an eye on GM and see what happens, and we'll see what GM stock does on the news that they got all these employees to take this buyout. I think we touched on this story yesterday, but Apple begins layoffs. The biggest area affected by these layoffs are going to be people who oversee construction and maintenance of new stores. So what does that tell us if Google is getting rid of departments that open up at Google? If Apple is getting rid of departments that open up and do the construction on new Apple stores, it means that Apple is likely going to be slowing down on building new stores. And what does that tell us? Well, that likely tells us that demand is down for their products. And I think a while back we saw that demand for smartphones was down about 18%. During good times, people have no problem shelling out $1,500 buying a newest Apple phone, buying a newest Android phone every year. But you can tell times are starting to get tough. Sales of cell phones, which are something that's kind of like critical to everybody's lives, and that previously people really liked, at least a portion of people like to update those things every single year. That is slowing down. Apple has thus far managed to avoid layoffs by cutting CEO pay by 40%, by delaying bonuses, minimizing travel, and pausing hiring. This is somewhat in response to people ignoring Tim. Okay, so these recent layoffs are also being said to be somewhat in response to people ignoring Tim Cook's hybrid mandate. Apple, among Salesforce and a lot of other companies, want people back into the office. We recently talked about how ESPN and Disney are requiring people to be back in the office 4 or even 5 days a week. A lot of people were kind of ignoring Tim Cook and not coming back into the office, and those seem to be a lot of the people who were affected by these layoffs. Speaking of layoffs, Walmart has recently laid off 2,000 warehouse employees, 1,000 in Texas, 600 in Pennsylvania, 400 in Florida, and 200 in New Jersey. Walmart was quoted as saying they've adjusted staffing levels to match customer needs and customer demand. What does that mean? I.e., people are not spending as much money. If people aren't spending as much money and Walmart is not shipping as much stuff, they don't need as many employees. And that's a bad sign if people aren't shopping at Walmart. Walmart is a discount retailer. People on the lower end of the economic spectrum shop at Walmart. And during inflation and tough times, people tend to shop down. So somebody who used to shop at Target or Whole Foods or Trader Joe's may now be shopping at Walmart. And even with that new pool of buyers shopping at Walmart, the demand still is not enough to keep their workforce. Walmart is also raising their minimum wage from $12 to $14 to help bring in new store workers as well as retain store workers that they have. They went on to say, as a result, this will impact profit and squeeze margins. Inflation could dent sales and consumer spending this year, according to Walmart CEO John Rainey, who said the consumer is pressured. And this is another bad sign for Walmart as well as the overall economy. Walmart insiders have dumped $5.3 billion in Walmart stock over the past month, nearly a 500% increase from the past 3 months. Zero Hedge had an article either yesterday or 2 days ago. Google to cut down on employee laptops, services, and staplers for multi-year savings. This kind of reminds me of Office Space, where they had to take Milton's swing line stapler away. In a rare company memo, the CFO, Ruth Porat, said Google kicked off multi-year employee service cuts. The company is cutting back on laptops and equipment, according to more detailed internal documents viewed by CNBC. And this is kind of funny, right? So Walmart is taking away staplers. They're not going to update laptops as often, all in an effort to save money. And I keep messing up the names of these companies. Google. And Google is historically a company that, they want their employees to enjoy work. They want their employees to be happy. And they also want their employees to spend a lot of time at the workplace. And that's why Google has always, been famous for, they have, massage therapists in the office giving massages. You can get your dry cleaning done. They have chefs on site. You can get food to go. They do everything possible to alleviate a lot of the burdens in your personal life so that you can spend more time at work. And again, they're cutting back on laptops. They're cutting back on staplers. But they're talking about some of the growing pains of dealing with less people in the office in a remote workplace. And they went on to say, sometimes on Monday we might, and this is serious, this isn't like a parody or a joke. They said sometimes on Mondays we might bake too many muffins because a lot of people don't come in on Mondays. And then we baked all these muffins and there's nobody there to eat them. And they also went on to say that sometimes we might schedule a yoga class on Fridays when people are off work. Talk about first world problems. And it's kind of crazy that Google is cutting down. Again, if you don't get a new laptop, that may affect your productivity. If you're paying somebody $300,000, $500,000, $700,000 a year, and you wind up affecting their productivity, even 1 or 2%, that's costing you thousands and thousands of dollars. And so you're going to short people on laptops and staplers, but keep the yoga classes and free muffins and whatever else going. Kind of crazy. Oftentimes we talk about the tech layoffs. It's actually been a little bit slow on the tech layoff numbers recently. So this is probably the first time I've reported them in 2, 3, 4 days. Thus far this year, we got 558 tech companies who have laid off employees. That number of employees is totaling 160,804. Some of the recent tech layoffs include 1K Karana laid off 600 employees. That's 40% of the workforce. Boost laid off 15% of the company. Highland Software laid off 1,000 employees. That's 20% of the company. View laid off 170, that's 23% of the company. TechSteel laid off 12% of the company, and Domestica laid off 45% of the company. Fortune magazine, Morgan Stanley analysts are forecasting something worse than the great financial crisis coming for the commercial real estate industry. Over 1.4 trillion in commercial real estate mortgages have to be refinanced in the next 2 years, and obviously at higher interest rates. Huge amounts are owed to regional banks. Recently, a Manhattan skyscraper sold for half price, 50% off. And in California, one of the biggest commercial property owners and owners of a lot of the skyscrapers in Los Angeles defaulted on $1.7 billion in commercial loans. Wall Street Journal had an article, Americans are losing their faith in a college education. According to a Wall Street Journal and NORC poll, they found that the confidence and value placed in college degrees has plummeted over the past couple of years. 56% of Americans, so a majority of Americans now think college degrees aren't worth it and are a bad bet. And the skepticism is strongest among those 18 to 34 years old, likely because these are the individuals who got screwed over by college. If you're a boomer, even a Gen Xer, you were told you go to college, you have a good life, you have a comfortable upper middle class life. And it's still the narrative being pushed to kids today. But as we all know, a good percentage, if not a majority, of people who go to college get themselves tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. A lot of these people are working in retail. A lot of these people are working in warehouses. And even those who have white-collar jobs, they took on hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt to get an office job paying $50,000 a year. What is the point? This is an interesting story. So small grocers seem to be suffering. We recently, in a video, probably within the past week or two, discussed how inflation at Aldi was 16 to 18% worse than at other grocers. Now Trader Joe's has supply chain shortage issues. People on social media have been posting photos of entire sections of Trader Joe's stores closed down because there's just nothing to stock those sections with. There's missing grocery items, no eggs, and a lot of items at Trader Joe's have a limit of 1 or 2 items per customer or per household. Trader Joe's is also discontinuing many grocery items and pet food items as they can't source the ingredients to make these items. And people on social media have been complaining about how their vegetarian chili is gone, their favorite Can't read my notes here. Their favorite cereal is gone. Their favorite chips are gone. Their favorite frozen items have been discontinued. And these smaller grocers oftentimes rely on a business model where they stock less stuff, they have less suppliers. So when there are supply shortages, it winds up affecting them a lot more. One of the articles I read about this also went on to talk about how Trader Joe's has resisted to moving online. You know, a lot of people like either having their groceries delivered or having their groceries, ready for curbside pickup. Trader Joe's has not really adapted to that, and they're missing out on a significant, portion of the shoppers out there. And then, we've talked about this a million times. Not really sure why this made it into my notes, but it just kind of, is very telling about where the economy in the world is today. Half the country is working more than one job right now. Half the country doesn't have over $400 in cash saved up for an emergency, and 60 to 70% of Americans, even those making six figures, are living paycheck to paycheck. So that's the story today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have not done so, please hit that thumbs up button down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to get these daily updates, hit that subscribe button down below. And as always, I would love to hear your thoughts, comments, and opinions, and anything and everything we've discussed in today's video. So go ahead and drop a comment down below. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Peace. I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.